Okay then peeps, so today it's going to be a little bit more flowy. We're going to try and keep it moving a little bit more and lots of stopping and starting. So if you want to take your feet around about hip width apart, all we're going to do is start off, reach the hands up, bring them back so they're level with the ears, and swoop the arms down. Just the arms, reach up and then straight back down. So try and push the thumbs to the back of the room a little bit. Each time, lift, push back. Two more. And then we're going to change it just slightly. What I want you to do is just go up with the right arm, reach over, and then bring it back and down the back, and then swoop and switch. So left arm up, reach over, just reach down the back as far as you can, and then switch. Reach up, over, center, down the back, and to the start again. Good, just a couple more. Reach up. So the reach down the back is just to try and open up some of the muscles around the back of the arm, a little bit into the lat muscles, so just try and reach down as far as you can. Last one on each side. Lift, reach, back and down. Bring both arms up together, down the center, and just twist to your right and then to your left. Drop the hands down and do it again. Come up, big circle with the arms, opening up the chest, center, turn to the right. Try and take it a little bit further each time, but keep the feet nice and flat on the floor. You'll get a little bit of movement through the feet, but not too much. Twist around. Last one. Right and left. I'm going to take it a little bit more into the hamstrings and the hip flexors. So just inhale up, exhale, you swoop down, open up those hamstrings. Then keep the hands above your head, step back on your right leg, and just lean. So as you drop the leg back, just add a little lean back, just a tiny one. Then you step it back in. We're going to swoop, come back up. Left leg back, drop the knee, add a tiny lean back. Good, not too much of a lean. Take your time with each movement so we feel that stretch into those hip flexors. Those of you who did Friday night's class with me, the 15-minute one, this is similar to what we did there, but there we went a little bit faster to get a bit more strength into the legs. Today we're just going a little bit slower to work on the stretch more than anything else. Push the hip forward, lean back just a touch. One more. And then back. Bit of an unusual one. Inhale, bring both arms up. Take them both down the back. So the one hand is on top of the other when it's behind your back like so. Step that right leg back again like you just did. And as you drop, just ever so gently turn to the left, come to the center, relax. Do it again. Inhale up, both hands behind the back. We'll take the left leg back, drop into the stretch and turn to the right. You won't get too much movement with the upper body with the hands behind the back. That's good, that's what we want. Lift, reach, so the elbows are close together. Both hands are reaching down the back, right leg back, twist to your left, release, and again, left leg back, drop and turn to the right. Good, let's just do one more on each side. Up. So it's a little bit of everything today. The movement, a little bit of strength work, Keep your movements flowing through, so it keeps the heart rate just a little bit higher. Step it in, roll your shoulders, feet a little bit wider. What I want to do is just drop down and move from side to side just a little bit. So you just drop into a squat as low as you can, just move from side to side a couple of times and then come back up. We're going to do that a few times. Drop as deep as you can. Just rock from side to side. Try and keep the feet reasonably flat on the floor. Just add a little bit of movement into those ankle joints and then come back up. Place the feet wherever's comfortable for yourself when you do it. So if you want to move them around a little, just have a little play from side to side and then lift. We're going to do 2 more like that. And then we're going to change it. We're still going to squat, but we're going to add maybe a little lean back if you can. If you can't, don't worry. 1 more for me. So what I'm going to do is change the position of my hands. I'm going to place them on top of my knees. So I'll turn to the side so you can see. So I'm going to come down, place them on top of the knees a little, and just use them to push myself back, or you can just reach out in front, lift up a little bit, and then come back up. So what you're aiming for is a little lean back here, not too much. You drop down, you might be leaning forward, just use them to lean, sit up a tiny bit taller, and then come back up. So you're going to feel this in different places maybe. Some of you might find that's quite difficult around the calf and ankles. Some of you might find it a little bit more in the back. So it's just a tiny sit upright. 1 more. Then relax, just give them a little open up. Make it as big as possible. And go again back into a little bit of hamstrings and then a little bit of inner thigh and open it up around that hip joint. So a bit of a leg lift in the center and then a step out into a side lunge, but with the heel up. Or should I say the toe up, heel down? I'll show you first. So first of all, what we're going to do is this. You're going to drop the bum down, lift it up, squat down and then stand. So the chest stays nice and low again. So you drop down, chest stays here, just the bum lifts, drop, and then stand. Let's do 5 of those like that first. Squat, lift, so you straighten up the back of those thighs. As you get the bum to the top, you should feel just a little pull on the back of the legs. We're going to do just 1 more. Then we're going to step out from side to side and then we're going to put the 2 together. So with your step out, you need to take a big step to the right. Left foot then drops and lifts onto the heel and the bum goes backwards. We'll get this through here, lift up through the chest, back to the center and then go to the other side. So step out to the left, the right foot comes onto the heel whilst the left knee goes forward. You drop as deep as you can and then come back to the center. So we're going to put it together where you just squat down, lift your bum up, and then do it and come up, and then we step out to the right. Big step out to the right, left foot comes onto the heel, you drop as low as you can, come to the center, and do it again. Squat down, lift your bum up, and step out to your left. Big step out, right foot onto the heel. Really work on the depth of that one. Take your time, don't have to keep up with me. You can go faster, you can go slower than me. Just drop into the movements when you can. Like I said, if you can get a little bit deeper each time, perfect. That's what we're aiming for. Each rep, just take nice and slow. Set your posture before each one. try and make this the last one. Make sure it's even though, so make sure you've done the same about the same. If you start on the right, finish on the left. Once you've finished, just come to the centre, do those little hip circles for me again, and I know we're all in the same place. Ooh, lovely. Everyone's together. So, roll the shoulders back. What we're going to do is this: straight legs, tilt forward, tap the toes, and then just round the spine on the way back up. So nice flat back on the way down, shoulders back, tilt. So get that pull into the back of the legs, and then from here you relax that spine and you arch up, tuck the chin in and lift. Then we're going to bring it a little bit into the chest and shoulders. So again, just tilt, straight legs, arch upwards, and then when you're at the top, all I want you to do is take your arms up and push the thumbs back behind, so your arms are in like a Y position. Do it again, come down, tap the toes, arch all the way up, arms go lifting, thumbs go back in a Y position. Good, couple more. If you want to start to get a little bit more extension through that spine, what you can do is as you push your arms back into the Y, you can just let your hips come forward a little bit, and you can add a small lean back as far as you feel comfortable. If you don't want to do that though, that's fine. If that's a little bit too uncomfortable, straight back, roll all the way up, thumbs to the back, add the lean if you wish. Let's just do two more. All the way down, round up, thumbs back, even if you want to. And let's do it one more time. Relax, relax. And take your socks off for this one so I can skid around a little bit easier. What we're going to do is turn to one side. I'll show you first. The foot in front is flat on the floor. The back foot, heel is lifted. I'm going to squat down and I'm going to swivel round so my feet switch. So now my other foot's flat, my other foot is on the heel, and then I just stand. It might take a couple of goes to get used to the foot position, but I literally just going to squat down, swivel round and stand. So notice my knees, they stay low. I twist, drop the other knee in close to the ankle of the front leg, and then push up to the start. Now if you can't go too low, that's fine. Just work on that rotation. Try and drop the knees in each time, you might get a little stretch. Good, take your time, we'll do one more on each side. Get me mat. Because we are going to come down to the floor. A little bit of movement on the floor. Let me just adjust the camera slightly. So, we'll do this one quite a bit. Knees, toes together, knees about hip width apart, hands in front slightly, push your bum backwards into that child's pose, and then from there just come forward with the chest, lifting, chin to the ceiling, pushing the hips down. Now remember we did last week, we had a little bit of core strength by lifting our hips and our knees off the floor at the big front, so if you want to do that you can. So all I'm doing is from here as I'm lifting my knees up and away from the floor. Only a few inches, a few millimeters, just to add that tiny bit of core strength if you want to. Don't worry if you just want to work on the mobility, that's fine. Now, this is where we can add a little rotational option. So, as we push back, rather than lifting the knees this time, come forward, keep the knees down. Then as you push back, reach your right arm underneath your left. So you just add a little rotation here, pushing the bum back. Bring it back to the center, hands down, hips forward, and then we go to the other side. So as you push your bum back, you push your left arm all the way through. Get the shoulder right down to the floor if you can, pushing the bum right back, and then lift forward again. So hips down, chin up, then bum back, shoulder down, arm all the way through. It's only a little bit of rotation. Turn the head to look at where the arm is going. After this one, if we can do one more on each side, that'd be nice. Then we're going to lift up into a downward dog position. So those of you who are unsure, feet, hands still the same distance apart, just tuck the toes underneath, lift the bum up, push back. From there, just drop the knees down and sit back. Hands straight, bum up, downward dog, push the chest through, then just drop it down, push the bum back, bend the arms, do whatever's comfortable. Take your time with that one. You're just lifting the bum up, pushing the heels down, trying to press the chest through to your thighs, and then you just relax, take that pressure off, and sit back. We're going to do one more. From here, just come up onto your knees. So what I'm going to do is step your right leg forward, lift the chest, hip flexor, then push back, straight leg, fold. Bent leg, push, straight leg, fold. So you might have to adjust the foot ever so slightly on each rep. Hips forward, pull back, straighten the leg out, just fold from the hip, hamstring time. So hip flexors and then hamstrings. Take your time with each rep. Is that your rabbit? So sometimes you see people running around and they have like animals on their laps or something. And it might be a cat or a dog. But Sophie Martin has a rabbit. One more, and then we're going to switch. Switch it to your left. Step back. Left leg comes forward. Hip flexor. Take your time. Heel. Fold forward. Chest up. Hip flexor. Step back. Hamstring. So this is the second leg. So if you are on the second leg, that's good. If you want to just join back in, alternate sides. Hip flexor. Hamstring. Couple more. Last one. Good. Sitting back on those heels. Chest up, right arm. What you're going to do is you're going to come up with the hips, take the right arm up and lean across and back to the left. So if I show you from the side, I'm leaning and twisting slightly to the opposite direction, and then I come back, sit my heels back down, and then go again, reach. If you want to increase that, what you can do is put, if when I lift my right arm, I can place my left hand all the way down to the floor, add a little bit more of a lean, come back, sit back down. As you lift your hips, push them forward, so you increase that movement through the front of those hips and bellies. As you lean back, lift, take the hand all the way down if you want to. If you're happy with just a slight lean, that's good. Let's just do 2 more. Lift. And then from here, we're literally going to drop straight back into the hands and knees position, and we're going to add rotational movement from side to side. Hands down, underneath the shoulders, knees under hips. Take the right hand behind the head, lift up to the right, bring it back to the center, right hand down, do the same on your left. Switch, open up, and then back down. Just try and take that movement a little bit further each time. Elbow goes right up to the ceiling, take the eyes with it. Let's do 1 more on each side, and then we're going to swivel round onto our bums. Bring it round, bring it round, bring it round. So, feet slightly wider than hips. Just drop the knees from side to side. Keep the chest lifted, facing forward. Just take them down as far as you can. If you can touch the floor on both sides and it feels quite comfortable, then that's really good. I can go one side and it's not too bad. And I go the other side and I'm like, oh, that hip hurts. There. So you can add just a little bit more upper body movement, push yourself into it if you wish. Then just come to this one side. What I want to do is just slide the legs around a little bit. So we're just going to push the left leg to the back, right leg is here, across the body, and just move into the front, to the right hand side, to the left hand side. Front, right and left. We're going to do 5 of these. Front, right and left is 1. Let's do 5. You should find is when you move away from the knee, so this is towards the knee, and you move away from the knee, that's most probably the tightest for all of you, the most challenging. But if this one is quite challenging in the center or the front, really just try and work your way into that movement. And once you've done your 5, all you got to do is swivel round and do the other leg. So just take your time, bring it round, and we do the same thing. Go forward, towards the knee, and away from the knee. So like I said, away from the knee is normally the most challenging, but I just have a feel. Does it feel tighter on this side than what it did on the other side, or vice versa? Where does it feel tight? Is it around the bum? Is it around the lower back? Is it in the legs? once you've done your 5, we're going to bring both legs out in front, nice and straight. Keep the chest lifted. What I want you to do is like add a small movement forward and back here. So rather than folding forward, if you just lift your chest and move it forward, how does that feel? Can you feel a little bit of tension through the hamstrings? That's kind of what we're going for. Reach your arms out in front, just slide them towards your toes, keeping that chest lifted, and just see if you can make that movement a little bit further each time. So just test where your fingers come to your toes. But really try not to fold forward, keep the chest lifted. Just sliding forward. Give me just 2 more. Then we're going to finish off with a little bit of glutes and a little bit of shoulders. So we're going to just lie back. On the angle for you. Glutes and hips. Arms up level with your shoulders. You push your hips to the ceiling. Then as you get them down, the back of the hands come down towards the floor. So your elbows are level with your shoulders. Yeah, so you're in this position, level with the shoulders. Glutes first. Roll up through the spine. So make sure it's a rolling action through the spine rather than just the lift. And then when you get to the bottom, rotate and drop the back of those
Rob,
hands.
if you're talking, I can't hear you.
Oh, has it stopped? What about now?
Yeah.
Right, so roll your hips up.
Sorry.
That's all right, love. Roll your hips up, so you're rolling through the spine, roll back down, and then as you get to the bottom, just rotate through the shoulder and try and touch the back of the hand to the floor. So it's a glute bridge, but more of a rolling action, yeah, rather than just a lift. And then as you get there, rotate the arms back to open up the chest and shoulders. Take your time, aim for about 5 or 6. Nice controlled and slow reps, rolling up. And then slow rotation back with the hands. One or 2 more, just to finish this one off. And then we've got one last exercise, which is going to open up the hips and through that spine get a little bit of rotational movement. Can everyone still hear me? Give me a wave if you can. Perfect. Was that a wave? So your last one, keeping your shoulders down on the floor, hands nice and wide. I've just lifted my hand up because it's got my mic in, just in case. All you're going to do is lift your right leg up so it's at 90 degrees. Then you're just going to drop it across to the left hand side, keeping them shoulders down. Bring it back to the center, drop it down and switch. Left leg comes up to 90 degrees, drop it down to the right so you get that rotation through the spine, opening up the glutes and hips. Back to the center and switch. Let's do 5 on each side, nice and controlled. If you want to, what you can do is as you lift your left leg and you drop it to the right, you can use your right hand just to pull it across a little bit more, get a little bit more of a pull and a bit more of a rotation through. So right leg comes up, I use my left hand just to drop it down. Get to the end movement and then come straight back. So no holding at the end, literally just push in and out of the movement. It's 3 on each side. We're going to do 2 more on each side. And then, my friends, week 4, day 1 is complete. Once you've done your 5, sit however you feel comfortable, take your time, no rush, and then when you are ready, just sit yourself up and we are done.